Welcome viewers to my views on news. I hope you all are doing well. Hello, Mr. Sajid. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you, Miss
Very well. Mr. Sajid, Mr. President Isaias Afwerki has just given an interview on the national television, Eri-TV. First, I thought that perhaps this is the continuation of his first interview, but because of his dressing, it seems that no, it was a fresh interview taken. Um, Anyways, he spoke again a lot about TPLF and Tigray, but this time he mentioned Malice Zenawi, the former leader of TPLF. So, what did he say about Tigray, TPLF, and Malice?
Yes, I was hoping that he would speak on domestic issues, but this interview is a continuation of his previous interview. Though you're right that it's a new recording. He was dressed in a new suit today, I think. Uh,
Yes, and we were expecting him to speak on domestic issues this time, but he again spoke about regional issues.
yeah, and in the next part, I think he'll speak on domestic issues. But now we have seen that his focus is on regional issues, on international issues. He's not giving domestic issues the importance which should be given to them. We'll discuss domestic issues in next part of his interview. Now, you asked about his talk on Tigray, on TPLF, on late Meles Zenawi.
Yes.
Firstly, again, he lashed out at TPLF. He said that TPLF's military and political adventures do not represent the interests of the people of Tigray. He, in a way, offered olive branch to the people of Tigray. He said that Tigrayans should they have the right to live in peace with the Eritreans and Ethiopians. Now, here I want to point out one thing. He is extending olive branch to the people of Tigray. At the same time, he has no mercy for the TPLF. He says that TPLF is a threat to the people of Tigray, to their future. So how can there be peace between Tigray and Eritrea? Because TPLF is the ruling party in Tigray. And if elections are held in Tigray, hopefully in coming months, we could see once again TPLF back in power in Tigray. But his message is for Tigrayans, not for TPLF. He's not offering peace to TPLF. How can Tigrayans talk to Eritrean government without involvement of TPLF? It means he's rejecting the possibility of any peace with Tigray indirectly because TPLF is the main party in Tigray now. So I was expecting that he would extend offer of peace to TPLF, that TPLF and Eritrean government should sit and resolve their issues. But I don't think he offered peace to TPLF, but he addressed Tigrayans, which is not a good sign for me because if there is no contact between TPLF and PFDJ, between Eritrean government, I don't think there will be peace between Tigray and Eritrea. Secondly, Meles Zenawi. He never fails to mention his meeting with Meles Zenawi. Meles Zenawi, top former TPLF leader, served as the president and the prime minister for around 2 decades. Uh, Zenawi went to Asmara. He met with Isaias Afwerki and he showed draft constitution of Ethiopia to Isaias Afwerki. He has mentioned this meeting in several interviews. Every time he talks about Ethiopia, he never fails to mention this meeting of Meles Zenawi with Isaias Afwerki. And that constitution was ethnic federalism because TPLF had bitter experience of the rule of Amhara elite in the past. That is why TPLF drafted this new constitution, which was rejected by Isaias Afwerki in his meeting with Meles Zenawi. He told Meles Zenawi that this constitution would lead to division and destruction in Ethiopia. It won't, because he has been against ethnic-based politics since the creation of the country. So partly he was correct in opposing that constitution. But importantly, he accused Meles Zenawi that Meles Zenawi was against harmonizing economic relations with Eritrea. So he is blaming Meles Zenawi for sort of disengagement between Ethiopia and Eritrea economically. And Eritrea has been accusing Ethiopia of trying to strangulate Eritrean economy. So overall, a continuation of what he said in his last interview, that he was he was targeting TPLF, and obviously it's not a good sign for me for peace and stability between Tigray and Eritrea, between Ethiopia, Tigray and Eritrea, I would say.
Mr. Sajid, Eritrea had withdrawn itself from IGAD in 2007 and then it rejoined in 2011, but it has not been very active. So, what did he say about his participation in IGAD from now onwards?
Yeah, IGAD, 8-member regional bloc, was founded decades ago. It was intergovernmental authority on drought and development, and in 1996 it became IGAD, Intergovernmental Authority on Development. Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, Kenya, Sudan, South Sudan, Uganda were 8 members of IGAD. But in 2007, Eritrea withdrew. IGAD members have the right to suspend their membership. So Eritrea suspended itself from IGAD in 2007 after 2006 Ethiopian attack on Somalia. Isaias Afwerki says that when Ethiopia attacked Somalia in 2006, it was violation of IGAD's charter, because back then Ethiopia was backed by the US, and it was a violation of the rights and territorial integrity and sovereignty of Somalia. That is why Eritrea withdrew from IGAD, but now Eritrea is ready to play a role in restructuring of IGAD. By the way, Ethiopia obviously intervened in Somalia in 2006 for around 2 years. Ethiopian forces remained in Somalia, and ICU, ICU, which was a body, it was in power in Somalia. It was removed from power. Sharif Sheikh was backed by Eritrean government back then. Sharif Sheikh was removed from power, and Eritrea gave shelter to Sharif Sheikh, where he formed a new political party. Sharif Sheikh contested last year's general election, presidential election in Somalia. That, by the way, that Ethiopian intervention in Somalia, it was said that it was the purpose of intervention was to control, it was to crush Islamist rule in Somalia. But what happened after that? Al-Shabaab gained foothold, it became stronger in Somalia, and Al-Shabaab kept on spreading its influence. So partly Isaias Afwerki is correct that Ethiopian intervention in Somalia did not resolve the issue of expansion of Islamist ideology. Rather, Al-Shabaab became strong, hardliner Al-Shabaab came into being, and that Al-Shabaab has been a pain in the side for Somalia since then. So he's ready to rejoin IGAD, as it was mentioned in his press talk with William Ruto a few days ago. I think he is ready to play a broader regional role now in collaboration with William Ruto and PM Abe. So a broad alliance is emerging in the Horn of Africa with Isaias Afwerki as one of the leading figures, William Ruto from Kenya, from Ethiopia, PM Abiy, their new student, and fourthly from Somalia, Hassan
Somalia in by giving them military training. So what did he say about that? Did he say anything about Somalia?
Yeah, he talked a lot about Somalia, and he said that what Eritrea is doing for Somalia, it's Eritrea's responsibility and obligation because country is in the grip of a crisis, and other countries should also support Somalia. But Somalia will have to take the lead, and he accused foreign powers, indirectly accused US that foreign powers they have been intervening in Somalia, democratic instability in Somalia. Eritrea has trained thousands of Somalia soldiers. Still, reportedly, thousands are being sent to Eritrea. Uh, he mentioned tribalism, that tribalism and external interference have led to instability in Somalia. I would agree with him on the issue of tribalism. I have been covering political issues of Somalia in the last 2 years or so. Yes, tribes are very strong in Somalia. That is why we see a conflict between Mogadishu and regional states. Then Islamist hardliner ideology is hard to counter as well. External interference, I think, is exaggerated because Somalia is not in a position to survive on its own. AMISOM troops in Somalia, US conducting airstrike to support Somalia's government. I think Somalia is in need of external support now, regional or international. Without external support, it's difficult for Somalia to survive. Al Shabaab has been able to reach Mogadishu, Somalia's capital. We have seen that. They hit the presidential palace. So US is helping Somalia. Obviously, when US is helping, it wants something in return. It wants its presence in Somalia. Eritrea has long been against US presence close to Eritrea. So Eritrea wants a broader role in Somalia as it is training Somalia's forces, and it wants regional states. I think Eritrea will try to use IGAD for some sort of broader regional role to counter Al-Shabaab in Somalia, but it would oppose growing US influence in Somalia.
I see. Recently, Mr. Isaias visited Kenya's newly elected president. What did he say about that?
Well, what he said that election of new Kenyan President William Ruto was a breath of fresh air in the Horn of Africa. I don't know when Eritreans will have this breath of fresh air because no election in Eritrea, no presidential election in Eritrea since 1991. So Eritreans feel suffocated, some say, but Isaias Afwerki, who is congratulating Horn of Africa for breath of fresh air because of election in Kenya, should allow Eritreans to have some breath of fresh air too. Yes, he was in Kenya, and there He faced some very tough questions. He was unable to answer the questions. He faced international media where he was embarrassed and embarrassing for Eritreans. He was all praise for William Ruto. I watched that press briefing. He just said that he backed whatever was being said by William Ruto. So, as I said earlier, I think a broad alliance is emerging in the Horn of Africa. Isaias Afwerki, William Ruto, Abiy of Ethiopia, Hassan Sheikh of Somalia. I think Isaias is seeing the possibility for broader regional alliance to counter US influence as well, because Isaias has been
Hmm.
against growing US influence in this region, and US is spreading influence in Somalia, in Ethiopia, in Kenya. They already have their presence there. Isaias is hoping to form a regional alliance to curtail growing US influence in the region. Obviously, this initiative by Isaias will be backed by China and Russia.
Hmm. Well, I hope that I have not missed any point. I have asked all the questions. Is there
Yeah,
anything you want to say in the end?
yeah. You broadly covered all the points. Mainly, he mentioned countries of neighborhood in this interview. Overall, it's a continuation of his earlier
First.
interview. But I think that he should have extended offer of peace to TPLF, which did not happen. So it's not a good sign for peace and stability between Tigray and Eritrea. Overall, we are seeing the outline of a new regional policy with participation of these four countries to
Hmm.
counter US influence, it seems.
Well, very interesting analysis, Mr. Sajid. Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, for watching us, and we'll be waiting for your comments and suggestions. Please do write to us. See you next week. Bye for now.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. Thank you, viewers. Bye bye.